Well, good morning, and welcome to Melrose Unitarian Universalist Church. Our service today is called Becoming Something We Have Not Been Before. Today we celebrate this community and the generous giving and pledges you have made. We are also following the UUA Soul Matters theme of transformation for the month of March, and I am delighted to be with you this morning. I will be back with you next week, and you will be welcoming Reverend Suzanne back from her sabbatical, April 7th. I'll save my goodbyes till then. But first, let me tell you that it's been an honor to be with you. It has only been 3 months, and it seems like I have really had a chance to get to know you and this congregation, and you will always be a part of my heart and soul. So I thank you. My name is Reverend Susan Sahusky Brown. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I use those pronouns so that anyone will know that they are welcome here, no matter how they want to label themselves and call themselves. I'm glad you could be here. You could be anywhere this morning, and you have chosen to be here and celebrate with us. We are a church of open minds, loving hearts, and helping hands. And anyone who share our values are welcome here with us. So welcome you all. And now it is your turn to welcome one another. And I invite you to turn to the person beside you, behind you, near you, across the pew, and then say hello to our friends far and near. I know that this morning we have to thank for coffee hours Mary Ellen Fitzgibbon and Kathy Sang, and I saw Garen. I'm assuming he is either usher or greeter. Usher? Okay, greeter. And who is our usher? All right. Thank you, Dan. All right. And I want to give a special thanks to Michelle DeVoe for her creative talents and our transformative butterfly mural over here. Yay. And after the message today, we'll be adding our butterflies of hopes, wishes, and dreams to that mural, as you will be given a chance to think about your hopes, wishes, and dreams for the congregation. And I also know that today we have a birthday person here with us. And I know that there are a number of you who have birthdays around this time. So Jenny has a birthday, so happy birthday, Jenny. And thank you. Right. So we had other birthdays that were last week, but you know, that's old news. Kathy. It was yesterday, right? Yeah. All right. And we are celebrating Pledge Sunday today, so I would invite members of the Pledge Committee to come up here and share with us and give us an update. Wendy, Don, Chuck.
Well, welcome to Celebration Sunday. Welcome to Celebration. Testing. Welcome to Celebration Sunday. On behalf of the Pledge team, which includes Chuck as our fearless leader, co-chair, Wendy, our collector, the Finance Committee plays a role. We have canvassers playing a role. We have staff playing a role. And of course, we have one of our resident artists here with the mural. So I want to thank everybody who's already submitted their pledge.
Good morning. As of this morning at 9:30, we have 46 pledge units who have responded and committed $132,165, which is 63% towards our goal of $210,000 for pledges in our next year's budget. Please see any of us if you have questions about the financial work of this church or about your personal pledge.
And thank you again so much to everyone for returning your pledge form. And this is just a little reminder for those who have not yet. Most or all of you have existing pledges for 2023-24, and we thank you again for that. To enable the finance team, the board, and ultimately the whole congregation in May to create our budget for 2024-25, we will begin follow-up work this week to fill in all the pledges. Beyond your vital shared support for the church mission, return of your pledge form as soon as possible will really help lighten the load for this follow-up work. And we thank everyone again for participating in support of MUUC.
For our call to worship words, I'm going to share a poem that I wrote on January 2nd. Each month I try to pick a spiritual practice for the month and stick to it, see what I can do. And for January it was to try to write a poem a day. And in this month it's to go through old anti-racism files and read some of the history of the UUA and my connection with it. Sometimes I'll just pick a thing like, for one whole month, I'm just going to do nothing but study roof lines of buildings, or chins, or noses. And it's just a spiritual practice that I've gotten into, but I'm going to be vulnerable and share with you my poem from January 2nd. Early morning rituals begin my day, without which I would flounder. A moment to feel my breath begins this day. In and out. Oops, hear those rails of sleepy lungs. Now again, in and out. Feel my limbs, shake my head. Now I'm ready. Feet on the ground. I rise from sleep and day is here. Feeling good. Gratitude for another day, another chance to contribute, another chance to amend, another chance to suspend belief in the reality of years rushing past, and another chance to begin anew. And now will we light our symbol of Unitarian Universalist faith, the flaming chalice, and Dan? Thank you. And to lead us in our covenant and light our chalice. Thank you, Dan.
Yeah. So I invite you now to rise in body or spirit and to join me in the words of our covenant, which you can see on the screen. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. This is our great covenant, one with another and with our God. Thank you.
Thank you. And now, if you would remain standing and join in our opening hymn, and the lyrics will be on the screen.
So
I'm going to invite you, if you care and dare to join together with me in a story that I wrote with my religious education director when I was in Leominster, Kirsty Johnson. And I invite you to participate in the story. We wrote this story following one of those winters that seemed to never want to end. It was a time of in-betweenness, like now, when we appear to be on the edge, moving toward newness, but which was met with chilly days and winds, and yesterday, very thick, snowy sleet, which caused us to retreat. This is an intergenerational, interactive story with accompanying noises that I'm going to ask you to say when you hear a triggering word. Now, the story will be up here on the screen, but also at the pews, you should have found a piece of paper with some words. So let's practice. They're prompts. So when I say spring, you are going to say, and when I say winter, snow, little crocus, robin, pussy willow, wind, peepers. Thank you. And now the story. I was walking down the street talking to myself. It seems like spring is lasting a very long time, taking too long a time to get here this year. Winter has been so long and so cold that I don't believe spring will ever come. Yet, as I was walking, I noticed that the winter snow was melting. And there underneath the melting were little crocus, heads just about to burst into bloom. Ah, crocus. I just love crocus. They are surely a sign that winter is leaving. Why, those crocus were there under the melting snow all along. And I continued to walk. Suddenly across the street, a blur of brown and red flew past, a robin. I had just seen the very first robin of spring. Winter is finally leaving. First the snow, then the crocus, and then the robins. I wonder what sign of spring I'll see next. Eagerly, I continued my walk. It was amazing how much better I was feeling. When I had left the house, I was unhappy, and not just because I had stepped into a puddle of melting. It was that I was sure that winter was going to stick around, but somewhere between the crocus and the robin, I found that spring was slipping in on quiet cat's paws. Sometimes you have to look carefully to see it, but all at once the snow is melted away in the spring. Flowers are all in bloom, from the crocus to the tulips, and spring is in the air once again. As I turned the corner, a branch from a bush caught on my sleeve. Goodness, what is this? A pussy willow. I can't wait to tell everyone that I found a pussy willow. And so close to my house. Oh, they're so soft and fuzzy. It's hard to imagine that in just a few weeks, these fuzzy little things with long, shiny green leaves. Carefully, I plucked one pussy willow, and I stuffed it in my pocket, being careful that the little pussy willow flowers didn't get knocked off. I am so happy. I have seen all these wonderful signs of spring. First, the melting, and then the crocus, and then the robin, and now the pussy willows. If I only heard the peepers, then I would know for sure that spring is really, truly here. I continued to walk, thinking all about the wonders of spring, the happy chirping of birds making new nests, the trickle of water in brooks, and the bright, warm sun. I even liked the winds pushing in the warmth. I like to think that the winds are pushing in spring. And as I came to the bottom of the hill, I looked out over the field. What had been a giant expanse of snow was now a huge puddle of melted snow. And way off in the distance, I could see ducks and geese swimming and a pair of robins. And as I stood there and watched the sun setting, suddenly in the dusky dusk came a sound, and a large smile spread on my face. Yes, it was beepers. Beep, 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 beep. Thank you for being a part of my interactive story, and the youth may now leave to attend their program, led by Florence. Every Sunday in the center of our service, we create together, we take a time together for some quiet moment of prayers and reflection, a chance to reconnect with our inner selves, our highest ideals, our sense of the holy, however it is we may conceive it. So I would invite you to begin this time by relaxing and closing your eyes, breathing deeply, feeling your feet on the floor as you breathe in and breathe out. Feel your body relaxing, sinking into your seat as you breathe in and breathe out. First, we'll join together in our centering song, and then we will sit for a few moments of shared quiet. And then we'll speak of our joys and our sorrows. And then I will offer a prayer. Our centering song today is 477, and the lyrics will appear on the screen. Remain seated, breathe in, and breathe out. Let the song guide you into our time of meditation. It's our tradition during worship to share joys and sorrows together. And I would invite anyone who has a sorrow to share to come forward and share it with us now, knowing that you are held in love and care and in community. But thank you all for the joys that you've shared. They connect us and remind us of the beauty of living, the beauty of loving, the beauty of one another. And we light that candle of joy to shine out our thanks for the many blessings in our life. And I share a prayer that a colleague wrote. If we have any hope of transforming the world and changing ourselves, we must be bold enough to step into our discomfort, brave enough to be clumsy there, loving enough to forgive ourselves and others. And may we as a people of faith be granted the strength to be so bold and to be so brave and so loving. And may I add, may all who enter these doors know that you are heard and held in care, and that your sorrows shared are relieved, and that blessings shared bless us all. May it be so. Amen, and blessed be. Thank you, Karen.
Now is the time for our offertory. Our church is a self-supporting organization funded by your generous annual pledge. You may also contribute to our weekly collection plate, which we split every month with a deserving cause. Folks on Zoom can donate either way using the orange button at the top right corner of our homepage at melroseuu.org. For the month of March, we are proud to share half of our collection plate with the Opening Doors Project, an organization which grew out of one of this church's ministry teams. The Opening Doors Project seeks to amplify voices of color and advance conversations about race through the arts. My musical partner today is my longtime friend Christine Fawson, and for our offertory selection today, we're going to offer up Amazing Grace.
reading is from Reverend Jenny Barrington. She was the first minister following my internship in Winchendon, where I did a student internship for 2 years. And this reading's posted in Soul Matters. She writes, "What is the spark that ignites change, that creates more creativity, safety, beauty, collaboration, and compassion? And what is that spark made of? Is some of it God? I would say yes," she says. "Is some of it the beautiful machine that is the human brain? Certainly. Some part of desperation, too, and some part the protective instinct and a sense of duty and responsibility. Maybe it's largely a desire to improve and save, not just oneself, not just one's kin, but the human race and this precious world that is ours to dwell within, ever so briefly." I grew up in the boomer generation. It was one, if not the last generation, where kids could freely roam around their neighborhoods exploring. And I did this a whole lot when I was young. There were acres of woods behind our house, and within those woods were secret and sweet and sacred spots of tender memory. Today, I am remembering the small pond behind the Andersons' house 2 doors down from our home, accessible through the wooded path, up and over the little wooded knoll, and there it was, an ice pond in winter for skating and a frog pond in springtime for pollywog catching. Oh, oh, how I loved kneeling at the edge of the pond, watching the transformation of those pollywogs into something else. First, they were minute little specks. And then within days, they were big, fat, black-bodied, tailed, little wriggly things. And then soon they began to change right before my eyes. First, a growth in the front that became funny little feet, and at the same time, a growth near the wiggly tail that became their backed web feet. And the tail would disappear as the rounded belly extended, and eyes would pop out where there had only been once a little bit different color. And before I knew it, they were peepers, and then hopping frogs, and green and black hopping frogs. It was magic to see that transformation. I have a confession, I like frogs. Now, most of the girls in the neighborhood like to watch the transformation of caterpillar larva into webbed cocoon, into a beautiful butterfly. But for me, it was the ability to be at the edge of that mud, and to spit out those almost invisible tadpoles that transformed into frogs that made wonderful noises. Can I hear a peep, peep, peep? Right? And then those individual croaks and those symphony of croaks, and they could hop from one place to another. Now, I have a confession and aside to make to you. I liked frog so much. Well, you know the dating, you know the boy-girl kind of stuff, the dating sort of stuff that happens, the kids stuff happening, right? That when the teenage boys in the neighborhood were taunting us girls with frogs, my girlfriends had to tell me I'm supposed to be afraid. I'm supposed to go, ah, and run away, not run to and ask, can I please hold that frog, right? The boomer times. Those rituals, those crazy rituals, that subject for another time, I'm really sure. But even today, I use the image of the tadpole to frogs as my metaphor for becoming something else we haven't ever been before. The most profound task was for that minute little tadpole to become a frog. And then it would and could operate and behave in all new ways, froggy ways. And that for us is a profound task as well. It is a profound task for us to integrate the past and bring in new ways of being and thinking, acting with hopes and dreams for a new tomorrow, and blend them all together to become something else again. That's a huge task. It's good. It sounds good. But it is transformational stuff, and it is not easy. It is not easy to become a butterfly. It is not easy to become a frog. It is not pretty, or it is not pleasant. However, we really do know in the marrow of our being that transformation is what we are required to do. Ralph Waldo Emerson, our favorite Unitarian Universalist, transcendentalist, troublemaker, wrote, "Nothing is secure but life, transition, the energizing spirit. People wish to be settled, but only as far as they are unsettled is there any hope for them." Let me repeat. Only as far as they are unsettled is there any hope for them. This is Pledge Sunday, Celebration Sunday. We have been the last few months embarking on the next steps, and that's your new way. That's your new step forward. That's your new way of thinking and being. And I want to explore a few skills you might want to develop or fine-tune as you enter into it. First, you have to learn how to become comfortable with ambiguity. You use love, rational, logical, sequential, it makes sense thinking. But transformation has a randomness to it that is aggravating and exasperating. We get frustrated and we respond with negativity or resistance. And that's okay, because that's part of the grief process. That's part of the process of learning to let go. That is kind of a lack of trust and anxiety about the unknown. But remember, deep in that tadpole, deep in that butterfly's DNA, that tadpole knows that it is becoming a frog. So deep within the DNA of this congregation, you know you are a loving, warm, insightful, committed group of people seeking something new and wonderful. Take time to celebrate who you have been. Talk about the heroes and the sheroes of this congregation. Reflect on the struggles and successes. Celebrate your DNA and take a step into the new future. After all, though it's not easy to transform, it can be exciting and exhilarating. Out of the chaos, every single good myth story, science fiction story, love story begins with that out of chaos. A swirling mass of primordial ooze and dust and images, and then a glimpse, a glimmer, potentials are presented, possibilities, and then the imagination takes over. And then it's wide open. It's wide open. Your story as a Unitarian Universalist community is an important and an evolving story. So tell it and live into a new way of being. Transform into something you have never done before. Trust the process, trust the people, trust that the future is bright and full of possibilities. Embark on the next steps by asking questions. Of course, ask questions. Acknowledge your discomfort at what might be perceived as loss and anxiety. provide the opportunity to speak in a non-blaming way of uncertainty and of the grief. And in order to become something else new, we have to kind of learn how to give up. Well, I'm here and I'm as I am, you know, the Popeye, I am who I am. We have to kind of give that up a little bit and be open to some new things coming. Okay, we'll say, I'm going to try just one new thing. I'm going to think about just one new possibility. I'm going to listen to one new idea. We might be saying to ourselves, well, that's a crazy idea, but I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to try it and see. I'm not sure how long it takes for a butterfly chrysalis to become a butterfly or a tadpole to become a frog. But I know this, if I get out of the way and if I trust the process and I become part of the solution instead of part of the problem, it will happen. It will happen in the time that it's supposed to. So provide a rich environment, have lots of webs for those butterfly chrysalis to attach to, have lots of mucky mud to stand at the edge in. Provide that rich environment to support that transformation, and you'll never, ever go wrong because you'll learn something new and you experience something new each and every time. So love one another, ask questions, be curious, be a yes sayer and not a nay sayer. Listen and love and celebrate the giving, loving group that I have come to know that I will miss. May it be so. And now, you have a butterfly that you were given when you entered, or if you need one, raise your hand, and we'll bring you one. Okay. Michelle, we have a couple people that raise your hands if you need a butterfly. Now, I want you to imagine you've gone through a process of becoming, a process of waiting and of preparing. And what I'm going to invite you to do is I'm going to invite you to take a few moments now and speak to someone around you, beside you, across from you, and envision a hope, a dream, an idea that would transform Melrose UU Church to make it be something it has never, ever been. Take time to do that. I'll watch the clock, and then I want you to be really audacious, really bold, be daring, be challenging. And after you've had a time to discuss, and then we want you to jot your thoughts on that butterfly, we're going to invite you to leave your seats and dance and march and process, or skip or hop, or jump your way around the sanctuary to put your butterfly on that beautiful mural that Michelle has assembled for us. So I'm going to watch the time. Take time. You have probably got at least 5 to 7 minutes, so enjoy conversations. I hope that's just the beginning of many conversations that you'll be having. And now I'd encourage you, if you haven't done so yet, to write your thought, a wish, a dream, a hope on the butterfly. And then Michelle and Paul, will you help us over at the mural? We're going to go over and we're going to attach your things there. And we're going to have some lively music as you process around and do this. So whenever you're set. Tom? Christine, thank you. And let us say together the words as we extinguish the chalice. Then I would invite you to sit and listen to the postlude and then join one another for fellowship and conversation and coffee hour. Thank you. We extinguish the flame. Oh, well, final hymn, yes, we have to do that final hymn. Okay, all right. Whoa.
Please join us for 1028, the fire of
Now we're back on track. Thank you. Whew.